Nico, before we talk about Fleetwood on Saturday, we don't need to go into the game again, but Tuesday night, what was the squad's reaction to that one? Plenty to be proud of, despite the result, I think.
Yeah. I mean, the squad's reaction was probably what I would hope it would be. The more experienced players are very understanding of the situation. They're understanding that the prime aim of that game was to get certain players minutes and get their fitness levels up, and it was to give younger players exposure to first team football and lessons you can't replicate on the training pitch. And so we're very fortunate here that, you know, people like MJ have been through the process at one end and have come out the other, and now they're part of the process as an experienced player. So he's very understanding of what it's all about. And I think he's understanding that these young lads are coming in and they're being tested, they're being stretched, and the only way they're going to develop and get better is so. Yeah, some of the young lads were obviously really disappointed that they'd lost, so they should be. But at the same time, I tried to make it really, really clear to them that the single biggest thing is what they take from it from a learning perspective. It's all, you need to be disappointed when you lose. You're always going to be. If you're a competitor that you lose at cards or golf or snooker or whatever it might be, you'll be disappointed you've lost. Never mind what you do for a living. But I think from them, it's taking the lessons. It's really, really digging down and feeling what was the difference. You know, what is the difference when I'm playing youth team football to what I've just experienced? How much quicker am I going to have to be mentally and physically to be able to execute the stuff that I've always been able to do coming through the youth system? What areas do I need to work on that are going to allow me to do that? And that might be, it might be something as simple as the gym, but if you go in the gym every day and the guys work, are they actually really putting it in there, or are they doing it because they're being told? Well, you saw on Tuesday that if you don't go in there and you don't max out your physical potential, then you might not be able to execute the technical stuff that you're working on and you think is more important. So overall, just a really, really good lesson, and exactly as I'd hoped the group would be after a game like that.
Obviously, that younger lineup that we put out, you said on Tuesday we don't have the size of the squad, the injuries we've been going through. So looking at Saturday, we know Pierce Sweeney's unavailable through suspension, but are hopeful of having some of those missing players returning this weekend.
Yeah, there's we're hopeful that Czech might be available for some part of the game. Obviously, Tim got through 45 minutes on Tuesday, so although not fully fit, he'll be available for some part of the game. MJ getting through 90, he's ready and raring to go. I think that's pretty much it. So we're not flooded with players coming back, but at least we may well have enough to cover the loss that Sweens is going to be. But yeah, I think that the group as a whole, the more players we get back fit, the more competition for places you get, the better it's going to be for everybody involved, because then you're being pushed. You don't. Although as a player, sometimes in your mind you think, oh, well, there's nobody else that can play in my position, so I'm okay here. The reality is you need to be pushed. You need to know that any given time you could lose your place, because I think when you're in that outside of that comfort zone, should I say, you're in a position where you're going to be improving and you're going to be striving for better rather than comfortable. I think comfort is the enemy of progression. It's the enemy of performance. You just don't need to be comfortable if you want to try and get better.
Results-wise, the last few games have been disappointing, but it is still so early in the season. How important do you think it is that we get a result on Saturday?
It's important because it's the next game. That it's cliched. It's something that you'll hear a lot when I'm asked that question. But the only thing that matters is a result against Fleetwood. It doesn't matter what's gone on before. It doesn't matter what's down the line. It's an opportunity to go out there, and there's points there for us to go for. Fleetwood are going to be a tough nut to crack. They don't concede many. They are, physically competitive. They are aggressive in how they go and try and win the ball back, and they're a good footballing team. So it's going to be a real challenge. But hopefully, like I say, the game in the week has given some minutes to players that needed it, and it's also given an opportunity to rest and recover for some that needed that. So we're going to be in the best possible position with the players we've got available to go out there and try and get something.
Looking at Fleetwood's form this season and recent results, 11 scored, 11 conceded, and plenty of their games recently have been 1-0 either way or 1-1, which suggests they're a very, very difficult side to break down.
Yeah, I say it's going to be a tough game. You know, they play in the mold of their manager. That they are aggressive, they are front foot, they are wanting to mix it, and they want to get in your face. But at the same time, they're capable of playing good football. And so yeah, it's going to be a test for everybody involved. But you know, you've got to look forward to those tests. Like I say, you look forward to challenges in football. You want to be, you want that nervous energy. You want that drive to want to go and win. You want that feeling that you get on a Friday night and a Saturday morning when you get up to go into the game. So it's important that you feel that. It's important that you understand it's not going to be easy, but you've also got to go into it ready and excited and wanting to go for it.
And finally, then, off the pitch, on Saturday, the club are celebrating two causes. The first being the Rainbow Laces campaign, and the other being Proud to Care, which is sort of a thank you to care workers across Devon for all their work, particularly in the last couple of years, really, after everything that's happened. So starting with Rainbow Laces, obviously it's important that as a football club, we just do what we can to support inclusion and diversity and equality.
Yeah, it's brilliant that these things are now at the forefront of everybody's discussions. It's now really, really, or should I say, far more open and out there than what it's been in the past. It's a shame that it's still an issue at all. It really shouldn't be. It should be something that everybody is aware of, happy with, and you get on with it. You know, but at the same time, it's the world we're in, and so bringing that recognition, bringing that appreciation of what it is, and making sure that we are bringing the next generation through, so it becomes less of an issue each time, and more of just an out-and-out inclusion without having to constantly worry about the downside, I suppose, and the negativity that some people bring. It shouldn't be that way. We know that the real world means that it will be to some people. But the more we do this, the more those young people see how open, inclusive, and you know, just accepting people are, the better it's going to be for future generations.
Yep, and finally, a thank you to all those carers who we will be supporting on Saturday for all their work that they do.
And again, you know, we're so lucky that all we really do is think football, play football, coach football. I think when, again, we're in a bubble in this world that we're in, and it's great because it's an escape for a lot of people at a weekend and come to the game and cheer, groan, vent, you know, smile, curse, whatever it might be. They come here and they let it all out, and we go through that together. But for these carers and what they've gone through on a daily basis for years, but what they've gone through over these last few years with everything that's been happening with the pandemic, you know, that they deserve so much more than a day like this where we're just saying thank you. That they deserve way more than that. And again, I know that the real world is that it's not going to be as fully rewarded as what it should be, but at the same time, they need to know how grateful we all are for everything that they've been through, and at least we can give a day like this where we can openly give thanks for what they've done.